Okay, so leverage is when you use the broker's money to make more money. Okay, so you're not using your own money anymore, you're using the broker's money. Most trading brokers will lend you money. If it's an investing broker, then maybe they'll lend you a little bit. But the way it works, they is that they only lend you the money for when you enter a trade. It's not like they just give you money and they tell you go do whatever you want. It's like maybe you have $100 and you can only afford one share of Tesla. So the broker might be like, okay, we'll let you buy 2 shares of Tesla. So that's 2x leverage. So 1 to 2. You have $100, but they're letting you buy $200 worth of Tesla. Okay, and you're only borrowing money for as long as you enter a trade. So as soon as you exit, they're gonna take the money back. Okay. Now, different brokers offer a different amount of leverages. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. But first of all, why do people use leverage? And what do the brokers get from it? So most brokers will charge you swap fees for borrowing money. So it's just interest pretty much, okay? Now, that's how the brokers benefit. And the way you benefit is you make more money, right? Now, leverage isn't necessarily just for making more money. So I'll tell you why traders use leverage. So traders, some trade on the big time frames, the weekly, the monthly, where they're looking for big moves like 30, 40%, maybe 10, 20, 50%, whatever it might be, big moves. But then there's some traders that trade on the 1 hour time frame where they're looking for 4 or 5% moves. And then there's scalp traders that look for what sometimes 0.20% moves, 1% move or less. Now, if they're looking for a 1% move, they could put all of their money in, and if they win the trade, they're only going to increase their balance by 1%, right? So that's where leverage comes in handy. When you're looking for small movements, you can use leverage to make bigger amounts. Okay? And that's how I personally use leverage too. So the way I use it is if I'm looking for small moves, I'll use a lot of leverage. If I'm looking for mediocre move, like maybe 10, 15%, I'll use an X amount of leverage, like maybe like definitely less leverage than if I was looking for a small move. And if I'm looking for a big move, like a really big 50, 60, 70, 80% move, maybe I'm not going to use leverage at all or just a very tiny bit. So how much leverage you use should depend on the size of your move and how much you're looking to make in terms of percentage. Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to do all of the calculations for that. There's a calculator. I'm going to teach you guys how to do all of that in the like later on, okay? So right now I just wanted to get you guys to understand what leverage is, okay? Now, what types of leverage do brokers offer? It depends on what you're trading. So for forex they go 1 to 500, sometimes 1 to 30, sometimes 1 to 50. It depends on broker to broker. For crypto, same thing. Stocks, usually brokers offer less leverage, but there's a lot of regulated brokers that actually do offer more leverage than the typical amount. But anyways, for stocks it's typically 1 to 2, meaning for every $1 you have, they'll give you $2. You'll be able to trade with $2. Sometimes it's 1 to 1.5 for stocks, and sometimes it's as high as 1 to 3, right? Sometimes even 1 to 5. There's some regulated brokers that even offer 1 to 30, right? And then even 1 to 200 some regulated brokers offer. It just depends on broker to broker, but the reason you typically get less leverage for stocks is because they're very volatile. They move very quickly. But then forex, like maybe Euro USD, it would be an incredible deal if they even move 1% in a day. So that's why you wouldn't really need to use that much leverage for stocks versus forex, right? So it depends on what you're trading, how much leverage they're going to offer. But again, I'll teach you guys how to do all the calculations. Don't worry about leverage too much. It's really easy to calculate. We'll get into all that stuff later. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.